basketball years, you can't win.
Well, that's what everyone's saying about Tommy DeVito going into Dallas. This is Tim, this New York Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Oh, the Giants are, I think, still 15.5-point dogs going into Dallas at 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. Herculean task comes to mind. And honestly, I think you're going to have to go beyond Herculean task. You are going to have to face an aggressive defense who's basically going to just tee off. They are going to lock down or try to lock down Saquon Barkley. They are going to make the Giants win the game, if possible, by passing. And you have your 25-year-old undrafted free agent, rookie free agent out of Illinois, transfer from Syracuse, sitting there waiting to come out and waiting to maybe have his coming out party. But if you looked at Tommy DeVito, you looked at his body of work, you look at his you just look at what he is. The game plan for DeVito is not to make mistakes. You're going to have to try to potentially shock Dallas by maybe going deep with Slayton or Hyatt, because Waller's not going to be available as well. You're going to have to run Saquon Barkley down their throats. But the problem is this: at the end of the day, Dallas has a tough defense. Dallas has a good offense. Some people actually think, but not looking at the records, that Dallas is a little bit better than Philadelphia and it has more of an opportunity to go further in the playoffs the way that they are built over Philadelphia. I personally do not believe that. I do not believe that at all. But at the end of the day, it's going to be what Shane, what Dable believe in. It's going to be what Kafka can do, with this, with Tommy DeVito. Because, like I said, Dallas is just going to key on Barkley. I would key on Barkley. I wouldn't do anything else. Just key on Barkley and have the Giants try to beat you vis-a-vis the passing game. And, you go up against the vaunted Dallas Rush. Even without Diggs, they have a pretty good secondary. They have a good offense. They're going to attack the corners because I believe it looks like Dory Jackson and Evan Neal are both out. So they're going to attack Trey Hawkins. They're going to go after Banks. They're going to have to go after Holmes. They're going to go after Flott. I mean, can the Giants win the game? Hell, it's any given Sunday. We've talked about that a million times. It's any given Sunday. Anything can happen. Dak's car could break down in the middle of the expressway and not get there at 8:30 at night. That's kind of what we got our fingers crossed, and that's kind of what we hope about. Is that what's going to happen? No, I doubt it. But you know what? Looking at a 2-win team right now, a 2-7 win team right now, 2-7, 2-win team right now. You're asking a lot, and you're asking a lot for a kid who is now he's got a full week of reps, coming in, taking all the snaps. They say that Dable and Kafka sat there and worked with him all week, like you think they would have. But Tommy DeVito is not going to be the Giant quarterback of the future. We need to get a grip. Some people need to get a grip on that. Some people are in reality, and other people are just going the opposite freaking direction. We've said it before. We talked about it a million times. We're not going to keep talking about that. That the 7-2 start last year really screwed this team because the finish was even worse, and it was just a continuation after that Minnesota win. That it's just gotten progressively worse almost every week outside of a half in Arizona. Now the question is this: is there at any point in time a light at the end of the tunnel? Or is it a train that's going to be coming? The 2024 season is going to probably be predicated on a rookie quarterback. You look at the free agent class right now, it's not spectacular. Daniel Jones is not going to come back and probably till October, November. And even then, are you really going to want to be 7 to 9 games into the season and plug him in after you reinstitute a new offense to go with a different quarterback? The answer is going to be no. And I think people still have to. I mean, I love the people that are like, Daniel Jones is going to be the comeback player of the year. That sounds like a great title. Sounds like you're living in fantasy disco. But can the 2024, is there light at the end of we've said it before, is there light at the end of the tunnel? Is there? Or is that light? Okay. You know, that was supposed to, there we go. Or is that light a train? Sound effects aren't working. I blame Zach. For the sound effects not working today. I mean, you are going to have to look at this and you are going to have to understand that you are going to have salary cap limitations because of the Jones contract, because of all the maturing rookie contracts that you have, and also with the contracts that you gave Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. You're probably going to have $60 million with maybe 36 contracts. So the cap situation is not going to get a lot better next year. You're not going to be able to go out and sign a plethora of guys. You're going to have to figure some things out still. It's going to be a hell of a lot better than this year because, like I said, we traded Dexter Lawrence because of the fact that Leonard Marsh because of the fact that we just didn't have any cap space. And like I said, I'm calling bullshit on the, we gave him the opportunity to veto the trade. No, you needed the money. They may have said, hey, Leonard, do you want to go to Seattle? No. Well, too bad. We already bought you a ticket. They had $500,000 in cap space before they traded Leonard Williams, so now that gave them $9 million, so they could actually sign a Matt Barkley. They could actually sign another quarterback. They could actually put people on the active roster. But what are we going to do? Like I said, is 2024 going to be the turnaround season? Is 2024 going to be the season into the rebuild? That's going to be the question. And the question is Shane going to be able to find his guy? And that's what I worry about because of the fact that if you think about this realistically, Shane already picked his first quarterback. We've talked about this before, and it was Daniel Jones. And how quickly people have jumped off the Daniel Jones train is just shocking. And all these people that you sit there and say, well, you know, we really didn't like Daniel Jones. We just knew he was going to be the quarterback. We always wanted Caleb Williams. Go back and watch your videos. Please. And sometimes, but the problem is you have the younger base of Giant fans that just eat it up like, yeah, that's what they said. No, these people were looking at the lap of Daniel Jones for 2 years. They got overly hyped up and excited about a playoff win against a bad Minnesota defense, one of the worst defenses I've seen in the playoffs in 30 years. And then when we paid him $160 million to be average, they were shocked that the wheels fell off the bus. And then they come out and say, well, we didn't really mean that. We didn't really mean that. We always wanted Caleb. But the way the draft is breaking out, with the Bears win, I mean, you are probably going to have your choice. I don't think we're going to get that first overall pick. I really don't. And I'm not sure that on some people's board that Caleb Williams is the guy on the top. I've talked to a couple people, and right now you got some NFL people that are saying Drake May is ahead on their boards. I have one guy that I know has Drake May, then Caleb, and then he has Penix, and then he's got J.J. McCarthy over at Michigan, and then he's got Bo Nix, and then he's got, what's his name? I think it's Jaden Daniels over at LSU. So potentially, you may have a shot at Caleb without even getting the first overall pick. But the other problem is, if you're sitting there at 3, are you really, as Joe Shane, going to sit there and not potentially try to trade up into the first round pick? You're only moving up 2 spots. We've seen with the Trubisky trade years ago that you may, even moving up a couple spots, you may have to mortgage the future, mortgage the farm a little bit. But we did that with Eli. Yeah, we gave up Sean Lights Out Merriman and a bunch of other picks. But at the end of the day, you know, they got Phillip Rivers. We got Eli Manning and 2 rings. So I get concerned with Joe's drafting ability right now because he hasn't hit a home run yet. Banks looks like he's going to be a home run. Kayvon, like I said, Kayvon's up and down. Evan Neal's not looking good. We've already gone through all the players that have not looked good. And these are guys that were supposedly going to be the building blocks. So this will be draft number 3 for Shane. And my only concern is we gave him the reins and he signed Daniel Jones. That's a little concerning. That's a little concerning to me because you never really saw Brian Daboll gush over Daniel Jones like he does over what's his name, Jalen Hurts, or over, of course, the great Josh Allen. So it's a little confusing to me that we are just so willing to put our faith into Shane right now, and at the moment he hasn't really done anything to garner that faith outside of the 7-2 start, and then the rest of the season fell apart last year. So, like I said, if it's me, I still like Caleb Williams. I think he's got all the physical tools. I think he's got. I know people are like, well, you always say that if you have a quarterback in college that's throws a lot of interceptions, that's gonna that's cause issues in the pros. Yes and no. It's also predicated on the system that you run in college. But I think he has more than necessary qualities to be a top flight quarterback. And he's a guy that we need in regards to the fact that he can generate big plays on his own. It's not like Daniel Jones who has to have everything correct to going around. I mean, he can literally generate plays on his own. We've always talked about it before that sometimes we say that some players are like point guards in the NBA who can't create their own shot. This kid can create his own shot. Now, the problem is he has this ability to extend plays on his own, but it also puts him in a vicarious situation in reference to getting hurt. So it's going to be one of those things you're going to have to look at and monitor a little bit, because I laugh because his pocket presence inside the pocket could be better, but it's not as bad as Daniel Jones. I think he's gaining more discipline with his throwing motion right now. So I think that's going to be, I think that we're just going to need some more repetitive exercises for that. But like I said, it's a guy that's going to show you some flaws, but show you a talent that you haven't seen in the Meadowlands or MetLife ever. He's not an option quarterback. He's a guy that can throw. And he is a guy that, to me, like I said, he can help move this franchise forward and get out of the Daniel Jones doldrums. Don't forget, we got the big live stream on Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the venerable James Williams. And don't forget to, as like we always say, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to ring that bell because you want to know why. And that'll be awesome.